Hi there, it's me, Jordan Van Haslo. Welcome to Jordan Van Haslo and Friends live on Hot 702.5 FM Las Vegas. Let's get on with the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Showtime with Jordan Van Haslo and Friends right here on Hot 702.5 FM Las Vegas. Today, we're here with two new friends from the fabulous group. We're not going to give them a specific category of music because they do so much, but they're called Autodrone. And we have Katherine and we have Jeremy. And so I'm not going to give them too much of an introduction. I just want to get in and learn their story and get to know them. So hello, Katherine and Jeremy. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank
Hi.
you.
Where are you guys right now?
I am at home in Brooklyn, walking around my house, with my cat. It's pretty exciting.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
How about you, Jeremy?
I'm at home in Manhattan, hanging around in my bed.
There you go. That's where, that's the place
Also
to be.
super exciting.
Yeah. We're pretty dynamic here in Autodrone during the daytime. We get a lot done.
So how long have you all been working together? Because I mean, I did a little, a digging and was listening to a lot of your music, and you guys have your new song coming out, or your new song that just was released. But it seems like you guys have been around for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
How did you guys come?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, if Jeremy wants to talk about like the band's forming, and then I'll jump in and talk about like when I joined. Jer?
Yeah, okay. It started in the early 2000s, and we wanted to do something different that wasn't really happening that much in the New York City music scene, which was, the kind of like the style of music that we do and the way we present it. It took us a little while to find all of the right pieces so far as personnel goes.
So was this something that started like with you? Was this like, because you say we, like,
it started with Angel and I.
Got it. Okay.
And
Angel's your drummer, right?
Angel, she is our synthesizer player.
Got it. Okay.
But she started as the bass player, actually.
Okay.
But had a accident taking the pit out of an avocado and ended up injuring her left hand kind of badly, so she couldn't play bass for a little while, and she moved to synthesizers instead.
That sounds like more of like a LA accident as opposed to a New York accident.
That really does, doesn't it?
It really does. It's actually kind of embarrassing. But Angel's
my avocado.
Angel's very like health goth, so we let it go. Yeah.
But anyway, that's kind of formed like the core of the sound was, these kind of shoegaze guitars and kind of these interesting electronic elements to put down the low end.
Were the two of you working together previously and kind of like came like kind of had a meeting of the minds, or were you guys just like friends who were like, hey, we kind of have this idea, let's put together this thing?
It was more than the second one.
Yeah. Awesome. So Katherine, how did you come to the table?
Well, so Jeremy and I had known each other for a long time, largely because Angel and I actually went to high school together, and we're friends in high school.
In New York?
Yeah, in Manhattan. We went to LaGuardia, the famous school. And I was a vocal major, and she was actually an art major. But
I didn't realize. Can I tell you? I didn't realize because Jose went to LaGuardia.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, our producer Jose went to LaGuardia, and I didn't realize how large that school is because I went to an art school in Chicago, and our school was teeny. Like there was like there were like 45 people in my graduating class.
Oh my god!
And so when I Like seriously, I think there were like 150 people in the entire school. And so when I talked to Jose about his experience in high school, and he's like, I'm like, that sounds like a high school.
Yeah, art school is like art school is considered small by New York standards, but it was like I think it was like 1,500 or 2,000 people. But that's like little in New York, which is mind blowing. What year? We're probably way older than him. What year is he? Do you know?
I don't know. Does Jose want me to say his year?
Oh, or maybe not. I'm sorry.
Online? Why don't you put it in the chat, Jose?
You know what? I don't really want to talk about mine either.
He's like, no.
Let's just table that. Jose
That's
and I
fine.
can chat later, maybe.
But you guys might have gone together, like going. He goes, "I'm old enough to know better." But what I guess with the way that happened is because someone else, we have another mutual friend who's joined us on the show before, and they went to both high school and college together, but they didn't know each other in high school, and that's what I was like, oh, whoa, how big was this school if you guys didn't know each other? And he's like, no, you don't understand. People came at different times, and like, so you could like totally never see like another, like, so I just thought that was so interesting because it's like the antithesis of my art school experience.
Yeah. I'm so jealous of you though.
Oh my God. So anyway, so you and Angel went to LaGuardia together.
Yeah, so Angel and I went to LaGuardia together and then like kind of stayed friends after, and then I met Jeremy through her, and he and I became friends. And he, of course, is a DJ. And one night we were hanging out in he was working, and we were hanging out in the DJ booth at the dearly departed Lit Lounge, RIP. Love you, miss
Lit
you.
Lounge.
Wonderful.
It has such a reputation, and none of it is good.
Yeah, none of it's good, but it was so fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was so fun.
And he was like, hey, you can sing, right? And I was like, yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
That was the entire interview process.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really extensive. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, do you want to be in my band? And I was like, yes, you idiot. Like, go get me a vodka soda or something like that. So, you know, and then and true love and musical harmony were born.
I love it. So where were you? So you went to an arts school, Katherine. How about you, Jeremy? What was your kind of journey into music?
Oh, well, it probably wasn't anything that I was supposed to be doing. Like music and DJing and, you know, writing songs and all of that was what I was doing the whole time I was going to college. What I wished I had been doing in a formal setting, I was just doing, you know, instead of doing things like schoolwork and stuff, and like, you know, actually caring about working a real job and everything like that. So when the opportunity presented itself for me to pursue, you know, doing music, well, DJing full time and doing the band with the other part of my full time, I jumped at it. And the opportunity presented itself because it became very, very obvious to me and my employers at the time that I was unemployable unless it was in the realm of music. So I just, you know, I just kind of jumped into it and having a okay go.
What did you study in school?
Psychology. Yeah. Which I, as it turns out, I am not that person. And you know, this is what your 20s are for, is to figure out who you are, right? So
totally. I always feel like those are the two, like psychology and political science were always the majors of the people who were like, yeah, I don't quite know what I want to do, but like,
right, yeah. Yeah. No, a lot of them are English majors too. Yeah, or a philosophy major.
Yeah,
which I minored in.
Of course you did. Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
So what was you? So Katherine, you know, you went to art school. You know, you're hanging out in the New York City scene. Like, what was at that point in time, what was your goal? What was your were you trying to be the next like Joan Jett? Were you trying to be the next, you know, Renee Fleming? Like, what was your goal?
I mean, I wanted to be, since I was like, I don't know, like 15, I wanted to be Susie Sue.
Okay.
And like still do. So,
yeah, that goal has not changed.
That goal has not changed. No,
we're still going for that completely.
We are still going for that completely. I'm in a band with very supportive individuals of that goal.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to. Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to do it, and I always want. I mean, even before school, like I always sang in like the choirs and shit, and in elementary school and junior high and stuff like that. And yeah, it was just always like that or write were the things that I only ever wanted to do, really, except for this weird brief period with Jeremy and I. I don't think I've told Jeremy this before, which is weird because we're also like really close friends. I had this weird period from the ages of like 9 to 11 where I really wanted to be a doctor.
Oh,
okay.
Really?
Which is like not that weird.
Music?
No, like a medical doctor. Like I don't remember what specific kind, but it might have been like a cardiologist. And yeah, so but knowing me now, like that is bizarre. And would never
you're
happen.
Still operating on all of our hearts all the time.
Oh.
So you came together one day at Lit Lounge, and he's like, "You want to be my band?" And you're like, "Yes, moron."
Fuck,
go give me a gin and tonic. Yes. So, what was the next step to like forming the band?
Well, basically, go ahead, Katie.
Well, no, I mean, basically, I had an audition. I mean, he was like, you need to come like sing for everybody and like try to learn a song or two of ours beforehand. But it's basically a formality because I'm sure you'll do wonderfully. And I came to I have a notoriously terrible memory. So Jeremy, if I'm fucking this up, please jump in and like tell it right. But and I went to practice one time and we did the thing and they liked me and I liked them and it sounded great and
and it was time to start booking shows.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So were you guys from the very beginning, were you doing original material or were you doing a lot of covers?
No,
only originals.
Only originals.
We've done one cover in the past, which I love covers. I like listening to them a lot. But I still feel like we have more to explore with our own sound right now. And when we do a cover, when we have in the past, I think there's a YouTube video of us covering Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit. I know there's a YouTube video.
There's gotta be.
And that's like us doing that song, but very much in our own style. So yeah, but no, it's mostly been original. I mean, 100% basically been original songs. Just because I love the genre of music, the genres of music that we're working in so much. Like I eat, sleep, and breathe music, specifically this kind of like post-punk shoegaze, and I just want to keep making more of it. So that's what we do.
Well, in starting out, is it difficult? I'm not talking about now, but just like when you guys are first forming, is it difficult not doing covers in terms of like capturing the audience and getting them on your side?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No,
I'm familiar with the music at all.
There at all. No, we did not take the easy path in any way. No, it is very difficult to actually reach people. It's a lot more difficult to reach people when you're not giving them anything that they can necessarily relate to. And also, although it is a bit more popular now, that genre of shoegaze was not popular in the earlier 2000s.
It was not.
So we had to really find people, especially when it came to booking shows, who kind of understood what we were doing and where we were coming from. And so I would say that the first person to do that was the DJ Nick Mark. He DJs, throws parties. I actually DJ with him on Sundays at Pulse Casablanca now. But he's still one of, if not my favorite DJ in the world. But also he gave us our first real shot playing the Sizwa's party, which put us in front of like a larger audience and kind of helped to really establish us. And we did that many, many times.
Yeah.
when we
So
were first starting out.
I'm curious to know how did you go into DJing? Since you talked about DJing, and Jose says they used to DJ at Beauty Bar, which means that you and I definitely met each other
No.
Oh yeah,
upon a
for
time.
sure.
Ages. Because Jose
We
and
might
I
have been
actually
several drinks in at the time, but we definitely met each other.
100%. Because that's how Jose and I actually met. Jose and I both used to be party promoters many years and
we
careers
have
ago.
definitely met you guys
Yeah.
then. We have definitely met you guys because Jeremy, obviously, as we have been discussing, is a professional DJ, and I was kind of a professional partier. So not so much anymore, but yeah. So
Oh, you've been known to show up now and again still.
yeah, no, I represent. Angel and I went to one of Jeremy's gigs the other day. That was crazy.
Yeah.
So how did you get
Sorry.
in? How did you go from wayward psychology major to DJ?
Okay, so basically I was in grad school and I was working in a lab, basically you know, running rats through mazes.
Oh, so you were like
to see if
really
they-
all in. I thought you were just like that
yeah.
undergrad who like needed to declare a major and was like, I guess I'll study psychology. But now you're like grad school.
And then I stuck with it insanely. Even though I was like I don't know. I didn't find I understand people love brats and I do too. But like there's only so many hours you can log of them whether or not they like Yoo-hoo. And like spoiler alert, they love it, as it turns out. So basically after several hundred hours of that, the university was like, so we actually don't need this study or this lab. So we're taking that away. And I was like, well, I got to do something to make money. So I was like, hey, I know how to DJ, I guess. And I started doing it. And that was years ago. And I figured it out in the meantime.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's how it started. Well, so okay,
That's
so
how
you
it
guys
started.
start your band, you start Autodrone. Where has it always been called Autodrone? Where'd that name come
It
from?
has always been called Autodrone. I think Angel came up with the name because we wanted to kind of make up a word that we wanted as few reference points as possible that people could like relate to, I guess, intentionally. So people would sort of, assign their own meaning. And we thought it sounded cool and we just went with it. And it's been that ever since.
Cool beans. So you guys get together, you start writing music, you start playing. Where's your first, like, where does Autodrone make their debut?
Can I interrupt for
Yes.
a second, actually? I just want to, before we go any further, I realized that we did not mention our wonderful drummer, Jason.
Oh, yeah.
So just wanted to say that Jason Crawford is also our drummer and is fantastic. And how Jason got into the band is because he and I have been friends for like 20 years. So that's it.
This is true. This is true.
And we've actually
and he is drumming on the new single and it sounds awesome.
Yes, and he's drumming on the new single and the new record, and we've actually been trying to get him for a long time, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, for years.
For years,
decades.
But he is possibly decades.
It might be
but he always had like other projects and stuff and was too busy, but not anymore. So just wanted to say that and give Jay.
Yeah, we locked that in.
Yeah.
Just a shout out to Jason.
Well, shout out to
yeah.
Jason.
Yeah.
Shout out.
We'd be nothing without. We're nothing without you.
We really are.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we definitely don't know where we are in the songs without him. That's for sure.
True.
So
sorry, but we're saying.
I think we made our debut. We played our very first show at Arlene Grocery in the Lower East Side.
Oh, I remember Arlene's Grocery. Oh, that was a fun place.
It was cool. And then right after that, we were armed with like some kind of 2-song demo, which I don't even know if you could find anywhere anymore. But I was, just burning CDs and giving them out to like everybody that I could find in the club scene. And Nick Mark decided to give us a shot. Nick and Justine, as his was. And from there, once you do one thing that kind of works, some like other people will go and ask you to do something there. So we took a long break from shows, but we played pretty consistently up until COVID, and then everybody took a break from everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, but we're going to do our first major one this summer in New York, and maybe do some out of town stuff too. We're working on that now.
Okay. Cool beans. So how would you describe, I know we were talking before we went to air, that I did that, like, that dreaded question that I think every musician hates to ask. Like, so what is your genre? Or how would you describe your music? How would you, if I've never been exposed to Autodrone, how would you, if I were telling someone like, hey, I'm going to an Autodrone show and I want you to come, how would I describe what you do to that person?
You want me to take this one, Katie?
Yeah, all right.
Or you can.
I'm interested to see. Sorry, what?
Okay, so basically it is a shoegaze band, but we've got a lot of other influences too. Like we're also very influenced by the era, like the early 2000s and even 90s goth scene, and then 80s new wave, and then also 70s psychedelia. So we take all of that stuff and sort of run it through the filter of what shoegaze is, and we do that. So it's sort of like a loud, atmospheric, kind of noisy guitar sound. And the vocals, I think that everything that Katherine does is absolutely stunning and beautiful. And so there's a lot of like just really pretty vocals that are emotionally charged. And working with all of that, there's this backbone of like kind of this electronic uh, keyboard sound. Well, electronic keyboards are electronic, but kind of like a huge grindy keyboard sound. The drums are focused in more of like a dancey energy. So
Yeah.
between all of that, it's kind of a mishmash, but it's all under this sort of filter of post-punk and shoegaze. So that's what we do.
Yeah. Do you concur, Katherine?
I concur. Yeah, I think that's a very good description.
Yeah.
Oh,
So talk to me about your process in terms of just coming up with new music. Are you guys regimented? Like you guys meet on the regular and are always working on something, or are you the type of individuals who, like, someone gets like an idea or something that inspires them and says, hey, I've been noodling around with this. Let's talk about it. What's your process as a group?
Go ahead.
And we practice every week. And sometimes one of us will be doing exactly that. We'll be noodling around and come up with something and be like, this is what I want to work on this time. But occasionally that can't happen because people have like work conflicts, or like Jay has to tour or something. But yeah, and usually it's like one or two of us. A lot of the times it'll be because actually I don't know if Jeremy wants me to say this, so I'm not going to.
You can put it in the chat.
Okay. But yeah, Jeremy?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, Angel and I get inspired from all kinds of like things, like sounds that happen in our environment. Like even like I'll hear like some construction or an ambulance or something go by, and I'll be like, oh, there's kind of a sick beat to that, and so I'll try to recreate certain things on a guitar, or with just like a variety of pedals and techniques, and be like, hey, I think there's a song here, and I'll mess around with it until I have something that I can come in to bring to the rehearsal studio. And thankfully, Katherine and Jason are very, very generous when it comes to expanding their definition of what a part or a song is.
Mm-hmm.
So they're pretty quick to pick up on any kind of melody that I'm able to bring there, and then we'll sort of accentuate that and go from there.
Got it. Where do the lyrics come from? Is like one of you the lyricist?
That's all Katherine.
Yeah, that's all me. And then my process is I mean, I don't know, maybe this makes me maybe this makes me a bad lyricist, but I'm not very regimented in my writing process. Like it's not like I sit down every Monday at 9 a.m. with my coffee and I'm like, all right, it's time to write a song. Although I don't, who does that? Like that's scary. Um, I don't know why I even said that. Like it's not, like a business book.
Well, I don't know. It's funny you mentioned that because, like, I don't know a songwriter who's in it, but I remember Jackie Collins, the novelist. I remember
Mm-hmm.
that was like her process.
Oh yeah.
She'd
Oh
always
no,
say like she'd
totally.
sit down at this time and put some Luther Vandross on and just start writing her. Like so serious. She said it in an interview once.
I think, yeah, you know what? Actually, I think I'm glad you said that because I think that my like guilt about not doing that comes from like back in the day. I thought I would be a novelist, so I'm like maybe I should do that. But no, I just like wait for like inspiration to come or for like horrible things to happen to me, and
Yeah.
then I, write about it.
Did you ever try to novel? Like be a novelist? Did you ever try to write a novel or
Yeah.
try to write narrative?
Yep, there's a couple of false starts in the archive somewhere that will never see the light of day, hopefully.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, in terms of lyrics, like where do you have like are you are your lyrics inspired by the melody line, or are you the type of person who just throughout your day you might like have an idea of like a poem or like of a line? It's like, oh, let me write that down and maybe come back to it when I hear something that would be appropriate for it.
Yeah, it's more the latter, that I just have like a constant kind of running thing, or like a whole song will happen in my head at once. And one of the reasons why I love this band, being in this band so much, and why it works so well is because it has somehow, the magic has worked out that like I will have been writing often. I mean, not always, but often, like I will have been writing something, and Jeremy and Angel will have been writing something, and then we'll come into practice, and it'll be like, oh shit, this is perfect for that. Um, so it ends up being pretty serendipitous a lot of the time. But yeah, it's kind of like a running tab of like various things that I that are like noodling around in my head, that I want to like get down.
Yeah. So when you guys perform live, how do you put together your sets? Like, especially since it's all original music, um, do you make a point to like, okay, this really hit with the crowd, so we definitely want to add that? Or like if something like doesn't necessarily hit or land in the way that you thought it was, like, will you like toss them from your set? Like, how do you go about the approaching to put together a set when you have a live performance?
It's funny because I feel like we do pay attention to the crowd, but it's more of like a personal thing and where we are as a band in that moment. Like we structure it more, since it's all original music, we structure it more on vibe, which is like really hard to quantify. I know, but and we'll like kind of say like, okay, we're playing with like this sort of bands, it's this sort of event. So maybe we don't want to come out and scare people with a bunch of harshness right away, or maybe we do. And we have both of those things up our sleeve that we can pull out. Or if we haven't played one for a while, maybe we'll add it back in. But right now, for the next show that we have planned, it's going to be mostly the new album and then a couple of older ones, um, or maybe one older one actually. But the new, I mean, I'm really excited about the new material. We haven't had a chance to play it out very much, if at all. So once the new album is kind of making the rounds, though, I'm really excited to see how people respond.
Yeah. Yeah. So talk to me about just your recording. Like, at what point do you
Oh,
decide, like, is it that you've written enough songs that you're like, you know what, we should pull these together and, and release them as an LP? Or do you kind of come at the idea of an album like with a concept? Like what's the process there?
I mean, usually I after an album, I'll sort of say like, okay, I'm kind of done emphasizing this sort of sound. I want to move in this sort of direction instead. Like the last album we did, The Sea Is Killing Me, was much more like a psychedelic rock album.
Mm-hmm.
And it had a lot more of those elements. And I feel like at the moment, that's more out of my system. I still love that style of music, of course. But I don't feel as much of a need to write in it. And so with this latest one, it's been more of like, I don't know, definitely more inspired by like post-punk and goth and that sort of sound instead. But it still sounds like us. I mean, it's just, slightly different. So based on sound, there'll be a bunch of songs that sound not a certain way. They don't sound alike, but they have like a similar vibe. And after we've got about, I don't know, 10 of them, we say get rid of the weakest two, keep writing and writing and rewriting and editing and rewriting for months and months and years even, until we get the most concise possible version of what we have. And then we run downstairs we rehearse at Danbro, and our engineer is also in the same building, which is very convenient. It's this fellow named Jasno Suarez, and he's about the sweetest, most talented producer and engineer in the entire world. So we just run downstairs and work with him. And that's what we've been doing, and that's why we are 90% of the way done to the new one now.
Yeah, that's cool. What's it like being a group, right? Like I grew up as an only child. And then even as a performer, like I was, it's just me, and like I'll hire a music director for what I'm working on, and like hire some journeyman musicians to like play the charts that I have, but it's like all me, 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 me. So in terms of now you have these 4 people, all of whom are on the same, have the same vibe, or like, and connect with each other musically and professionally and platonically as friends. You guys all clearly like each other and have known each other and been friends for so long. What's it like when someone really has very strong thoughts about something and
we fight bitterly.
2 or 3 of the others don't?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that Jason is the only one of the 4 of us who is not an only child. So things can get interesting, let's say.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We have
really hit something there. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'd never really thought about until now, Jeremy. But
yeah. No. Oh no, the 3 of us are all also only children. So yeah, exactly what you're describing.
Terrible. We're just
terrible. No, the worst. The worst.
Yeah, basically the worst. I mean, we're other than Jay, who has been a friend of mine for so long and fit into the band so well, it was like he'd already been there forever. Like we've been in this together for so long that we're like, I mean, and this is trite as fuck, but like we're like a family. Like I consider Jeremy and Angel my brother and sister, like completely. Yeah. And we fight like siblings sometimes.
Yep.
And
all the time,
all the time, really,
all the time. Yeah, at least as so far as I would imagine how siblings fight. I don't know. Like,
exactly. Also. Yeah, we don't really have a basis for that.
Yeah.
But we always eventually make up, and even while we're fighting, we can still find our way like to the music, and if some of it finds its way into the music, that's not a bad thing necessarily. Right. Like. No. A little tension can be good.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Has there ever been a point where you guys got to a point? Because again, and I say this not only as an only child, but I say this as a divorcee. Have you ever gotten to the point, being together for so long, has there ever been a point where like you might have gotten to a place where it's like, we might need to part ways?
No, I don't think so. Not really.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No. Because the sad fact of the matter is nobody else will really deal with us except for each other. So
I mean, that is sad but true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I am otherwise unemployable.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
don't.
no, we're just trust me, it's best off like this because then we don't inflict each other. We don't
Yeah, we
inflict one
don't
another
inflict our
on the greater
personalities on like other
on
people
the
and new people.
innocent people, innocent
Yeah,
bystanders.
innocent bystanders.
So like you guys stay together for the world, for the good of the world.
Yeah, basically.
Yes, you know what?
Yeah.
It's really an altruistic project for everybody else. It's not even for
Man,
us. It's not even
I
about
just
music. We're
realized
just trying to keep people safe.
we're such good people, is what it is.
Yeah,
That
that's what it
yeah.
is. Yeah, marked safe from Autodrone.
do 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 any of the four of you like artistically work on things outside of Autodrone?
Well, yeah. Jason, our drummer, he is among, if not the best drummer that I've ever played with. And he's got other bands, and he does that too. And sometimes he goes on tour and does that, and it's awesome. And uh, and it's what he does. He plays the drums, and he's really amazing at it. So he's always doing that sort of thing. I produce music on my own and do remixes that are more aligned with what I do DJ wise. Like it's not like I DJ the type of music that the band is really, because it's not like dance floor music. I DJ at dance clubs, so I do produce electronic music a bit on the side and collaborate with my friends and all of that sort of thing. So yeah, we all do stuff.
What's your DJ name?
Jeremy Bastard.
Jeremy Bastard.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I picked it out when I was like
and how 21. Does your mother
my mom's fine with it. My dad hates it. But I am also a child of divorce, so that's on him.
I hate you, Dad. This is my DJ name.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're not wrong. Hey, man, you could have been a more supportive parent, whatever. Not of this though. I wouldn't expect, but and it's I've been doing that. I've been going by that name for so long that it's way too late to turn that ship around.
Yeah.
And so instead of turning the ship around, I just produce music under that name too. And that's hilarious. And people dig it. You can find it on streaming stuff. Yeah, in Autodrone, it is very much a group thing, a group collaboration where we all bring what we want to and what we need to the song. And for the solo stuff that I do, I'll like work with like Daniel, the guy from Daniel from Mevius and Ghost Cat Records. Mevius is one of our favorite bands in the whole world.
Yeah.
And he also runs the record label that puts out our stuff and puts out my solo stuff. So I'll work with him on something and whatever, see what's up and put it out if we like it.
How does that? I'm so curious. Just talking about the dance music you do. Talk to me about that versus the work that you guys do with Autodrone in terms of like how you approach it, how you do you have different goals with it versus Autodrone?
Yes, I have different goals with it in the sense that Autodrone I feel like is a live experience, and something that you listen to either you could listen to it in your car or at home or whatever, but best it is best witnessed live and in concert in my opinion. Although I've never seen the show, I've only ever been on the stage. But yeah, we do put a lot into the live show. We have like really cool and exciting visuals and projections that we do, which I'm working on now. So yeah, Autodrone is a live endeavor. Whereas what I do is something that takes place in a nightclub and not early. It's like it's more designed for 2 a.m. Sorry.
Is it for drunk and high people?
That's exactly right. Although
Yeah.
Autodrone is for that too.
I mean, we are,
But
yeah, the band is
yeah,
too.
Autodrone is definitely for also for drunk and high people. Although I don't, maybe not in a club.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean it's all for that, But yeah, like what I do, my solo stuff is more closely aligned with, like dance floor energy, and Autodrone is live music energy.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Katherine? Tell me about some of just the other things artistically that you do outside of the band. It doesn't have to be music. I mean, I know you are a writer. You mean you were still waiting for your first novel to come out. But like
Yeah, I actually don't really write I don't really write prose anymore, like not like fiction prose anymore, because I actually eventually kind of found it like too painful. So I don't know, make of that not painful like, oh, this is such a slog, but just like emotionally, like the things I want to write about in that format just like took too much out of me. But I do say most of which gets turned into Autodrone lyrics because the poem, which is like both great because there's like a fountain of it, but also like secretly kind of annoying to me. Sorry, Jeremy, because like when I write them, they don't rhyme. But then, I mean, not all of the Autodrone lyrics rhyme by like any stretch. But then when I'm writing lyrics, I'm like, maybe like some of them should rhyme a little bit. Which I think Jeremy has actually said to me before. Like, no pressure, Katherine, but
No,
do you think maybe once in a while?
yeah.
And I'm like, how dare you stifle my creativity? Just kidding. No. Um, so that's still another outlet for me. But yeah. I guess that's the answer to that.
Yeah.
It's mostly, I mostly put it all into the band. Like everything that goes on the page goes into the band for me, pretty much, or at least like 95%.
At this stage as a band and as a group, as a collective, do you have, musical idols, or maybe not idols, but do you have like, are there certain musicians that at this point still kind of like influence your work and influence the type of things that you choose to write and influence your sound to a certain extent?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the aforementioned Susie and the Banshees
Yeah,
is definitely one of my favorites ever, and I think that's something Katie and I can agree on.
absolutely.
In addition to that, a little band called Depeche Mode has been tremendously influential and informative to me, as well as The Cure, New Order. All
Yeah,
of those are like the ones, those are the ones that when I think of, that's who I'm looking up to.
yeah.
You know,
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you
Oh,
off.
but also even in New York City, we've got lots of really exciting and cool bands who we love, like Jasno, who we do all of our recording with, has a band called the Vandals, and also a bunch of solo stuff, which is just really, really phenomenal. There's a place to bury strangers who've been in the game for a good minute and just putting out this just unstoppably amazing quality music that I love. Um, and yeah, and Mevius, of course, been in the game for a minute, putting out consistently music that I absolutely love and have remixed actually a couple of times. So yeah, you could probably find that somewhere on streaming media. Katie, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all of that. And I mean, the goth staples are
Oh yeah.
very near and dear to my heart, and are influences for me still as well. I mean, or I guess I picked it, but everybody agreed on it. The title for the last album, which was "The Sea Is Killing Me," is from a line in a Sisters of Mercy song. So,
Yep.
we might be a little goth.
Yeah.
Just a little. And I'm like, who's gonna get it? Who's gonna understand?
Like literally everybody got it.
Yeah, literally everybody got it. Everybody got
Literally
it. It was
everybody
like,
got it.
yeah, it's like it's not like an obscure Sister Than Mercy lyric. I didn't think I was
No.
being sneaky. Um,
Yeah.
so that's all like very much right there. But then there's also like this whole other like, well, they definitely don't fall into the same like genre. But there's a bunch of other like disparate influences that come into play. And
Oh yeah.
like,
All the time.
for example, I had forgotten like about her and about this song, but Angel actually has a really great habit of oh, and I wanted to say this earlier. Angel and I have this like kind of other thread, like songs we want to cover but never will. And she picks really interesting things, like this Buffy St. Marie song, God is alive, magic is afoot. And it's just like her singing with like some bells and a little bit of percussion, and it's really strange and beautiful, and unexpected. So I've been listening to her a bunch lately, actually. And yeah, just I don't know, I mean, like really like strong, powerful lady singers. Annie Lennox is up there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Tracy Chapman is up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could go on and on.
Speaking of unexpected covers, have you guys ever like tried or thought of doing something that's like totally outside of your normal wheelhouse? For then I think of this as an example. Like if you remember, like in the early 2000s, how all of these major acts, regardless of what kind of music they sang, they all put out like albums of standards. Like, have you guys ever thought of like, or have you guys ever like done anything that was like totally like the antithesis of what you guys are known for or what you guys normally do?
Well, speaking of Angel and I's secret covers list, this is kind of ruined now because like Rasputin got all popular. But Angel and I think I still do, I hope she still does, really want to cover Rivers of Babylon by Boney M.
Yeah.
That is such an amazing song. I love Boney M.
Yes.
So funny. I'm actually working on, for my act, I'm working on I do a lot of work in like casinos and on cruise ships. And I'm actually working on a disco show right now. And so I've actually been like really
incredible.
exploring Boney M. I've been really like recently, as of recently, I've been really exploring Boney M.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah.
You know, they were just in New York, and I was so pissed. I couldn't get anyone to go with me. It was them, Samantha Fox, and another person on the bill. They were at that theater up in Washington Heights, and it was one night.
Oh, I know that one. United Palace.
That we didn't know each other then because I didn't go because no one would go with me.
I didn't even know about that. I would have gone with you.
I would have gone with you immediately.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I'm so mad. When was this?
This was I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 months ago.
Oh,
this is not long ago at all, and it was like this one. I was like, oh my god, because I wasn't like listening to the Boney M stuff yet. But I've always loved Samantha Fox. And I'm like, when am I ever going to get a chance to see Samantha Fox?
When does that happen?
Never comes to the United States. And it was like, Boney M, Samantha, I forget who the third act was. God. But yet no one would go with me. Aren't people asking?
I mean, sorry, but like, I think you need some new friends.
Yeah.
You might need some new friends.
But with that said,
Boney friends with real taste.
Yeah.
Yes, love Boney M.
Yeah, we really love Boney M. I really love like fucking Sufjan Stevens, not all the Jesus stuff. Yeah, we have things other than God. I really like Dolly Parton. I mean, we have things other than like goth that would surprise people, perhaps, you know.
What do you think of Dolly Parton as of late? I was actually talking to a really good friend of mine who you guys would actually love. I need to introduce you to him. His name's Ryan. He actually owns a vinyl record label. And he
cool.
he and I used to work together in L. He's based in New York. We used to work together at Sony Pictures in LA. But really, I think you guys would really get along. Like he's all into music. And I was curious, what do you guys think of Dolly Parton now? Because he and I actually had brunch not too long ago, and we were talking about the fact that Dolly Parton seems to kind of like almost like be doing like everything everywhere all at once at the moment, like
Yes.
where there's like almost like no discrimination in terms of what she's doing. I'm just curious, as you mentioned her as being an influence. What do you think of current Dolly Parton?
I mean, I would never say a word against Saint Dolly. So let's just put that out there.
Dolly can kind of do whatever she wants.
Yeah, she can do whatever she wants. I mean, I don't. I mean,
get with Pitbull.
What? No.
Yes, exactly.
I don't even know. Wait, what?
She has a new song with Pitbull. And can I tell you, because it popped up on my Spotify, like, you know, like New Music Friday or whatever, and they're like, this is something for you. And I was like, wait, what is this about? And it actually is a bit of a banger. It's actually
whoa. Oh my God. I am very much going to listen to that as soon as we get off the phone. Wow. I did not know about that. Dolly Parton plus Pitbull. I think, you know what? I think like get that money, girl. I mean, she not like she doesn't already have enough of it, but you know, like those sparkly hand covering bodysuits. What?
I think Dolly's doing okay.
Yeah, but like
I wasn't worried about her. Like,
no, I was definitely
she doesn't have a GoFundMe.
But I think one of the reasons probably why she's doing this stuff is like, well, I think she's probably having a shit ton of fun.
Yeah.
Good for her, but also she wants to stay relevant in the culture. And not even just like as you were saying, like she has plenty of money. She can do whatever she wants. She could retire till like to the backwoods of Tennessee or whatever and be happy forever, but she wants to stay relevant because I think that's important to her as an artist. Because if you're not engaging with the culture, like and you're just in your own bubble, like what are you doing, you know?
No, I concur. Well, you have to go listen to her new song with Pitbull.
I absolutely will. I cannot wait.
Oh yeah.
We only have a few minutes left, and then we have to throw it to our advertisers because, unlike Dolly, I can't retire to the backwoods of Tennessee, and so we have to. We have to pay for our real estate. But let's talk to me a little bit about your latest release.
Okay. Yes. So what is it, like 7-8 songs, something like that? And we're in the final stages of getting the album done now. I think we have, Katie, you still have to do vocals for a song or two.
Mm-hmm.
And there's maybe some more bells and whistles that I want to throw into it with like hand percussion, and because we always do all sorts of stuff with that. There's always like secretly live piano all over the thing too, which is kind of like not common for shoegaze, but that's just sort of one of the techniques that we've always done. And then we'll mix it, and it will be coming to streaming. I would say within the next few months, hopefully before our first live show in like a year almost. Which will be on July 1st at Mercury Lounge.
Okay, wonderful. Well, cool. Well, where can those of the, you know, in our listening audience, where can they find you to keep track of not only your new music, where you're playing, just all the, you know, everything that anyone wants to find out about you and keep track of?
There's links to everything from our Instagram page. That's at Autodrone_NYC. And that's where you're going to find the most up-to-date information about us, although we are all over all the social media pages. And just go into your streaming and follow Autodrone as an artist, and then you will get updated. And that's probably the best way to do it. But yeah, any streaming, if you look, you will find us.
If you seek us, we shall appear.
Yeah, we shall.
Yes, exactly.
Well, Jeremy, Katherine, it has been such a pleasure getting acquainted.
Absolute pleasure.
Guys
Thank
are absolutely
you for us too.
wonderful. Wonderful. We definitely have to do drinks or something in person. And thank
I
you
would
so
love
much.
that.
Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you
us
so
today.
much.
Absolutely. And thank you all for listening every week. We really, really appreciate you. I honestly couldn't do it without any of you. So we'll chat next week for another episode of Showtime with Jordan Von Hazel and friends right here on Hot 702.5 FM Las Vegas.